It's the show that was so big, they couldn't keep it a miniseries for long.
Was it you? What are you gonna do, huh? Choke me?
Whoa, hey!
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're choosing our top 10 favorite Big Little Lies moments. Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at the scenes that stood out for their shock value, emotional resonance, or mere importance to the story. Since we'll be breaking down key moments, a spoiler warning is now in effect.
Leave my brother alone.
He's your brother? That means your dad's a rapist.
Get the hell out of here!
Number 10. Ed finds out about Madeline's infidelity.
When you say us, what does that even mean?
While Ed may not be everyone's favorite character, it can't be denied he's the sturdy rock Madeline needs in a life partner. However, that rock soon turns into rocky terrain once this bombshell is let out.
What's going on?
We were just talking about college.
Is that it?
Not realizing Ed is home, Madeline's daughter Abby offhandedly mentions Madeline's affair with Joseph, the theater director, only for Ed to waltz into the room.
What's this about a theater director?
No, you misheard that.
Madeline did the right thing by breaking it off the year before, but her past still comes back to bite her. It's a heartbreaking moment, especially when Ed is less than enthused.
You ask me what I'm thinking, I'll tell you. I think we're done.
Thankfully, the two are able to rekindle their dedication in the season finale by renewing their vows. Number 9. Madeline and Joseph's car accident. Speaking of Joseph, trouble just keeps following Madeline whenever he's around.
Let's do this. Let's throw it all away. I know you have feelings for me.
Despite being married himself, Joseph tries to persuade Madeline to be with him, proclaiming his love for her.
You know that you're this uncomfortable with a conversation.
Of course I'm uncomfortable! I cheated on my husband!
I cheated on my wife.
For the time being, however, he can only persuade Madeline to get in the car with him for a moment in private, as she vehemently shoots him down. However, the meeting doesn't remain private for long, as the two are involved in a 3-car pileup.
I get you don't want to have feelings, right? You've got a family, but you kissed me back at the theater.
Both survive, but the circumstances surrounding their being in a car together raise more than a few eyebrows. While many movies and shows often gloss over their car crashes, this one did not.
Joseph, is Joseph all right?
He's stable. His family's with him now.
Number 8. Madeline speaks at the parents' meeting. There's no other way around it. Climate change is one of the biggest threats looming over our world.
You have a very good point. Climate change is important. It's important. But it's also a lot to load up on a lot of second graders.
But we suspect that's not what Madeline was really talking about when she took the stand at the parents' meeting. No, somehow she manages to get even more pessimistic. Real quick.
You know, I think part of the problem is we lie to our kids. We fill their heads full of Santa Claus and stories with happy endings, when most of us know most endings to most stories suck.
Fresh off the seeming dissolution of her marriage, coupled with her inability to persuade her daughter to attend college, Madeline is in a vulnerable place, and it shows. She lays down some hard truths, and we can't help but feel for her.
We have to tell the children that life is an illusion and things don't work out sometimes. You can't tell them part of the truth. You have to tell them the whole truth.
Not to mention, the scene features arguably Reese Witherspoon's finest work on the show. Number 7. Celeste returns to lawyering.
It's just difficult when you try to control me.
Yeah, well, the idea of you resuming your career.
I'm not trying to resume my career.
Throughout season 1, we see Celeste slowly start to rebel against her abusive husband Perry, with a big turning point coming from her legal backing of a controversial production Madeline is putting on.
Is this your go-to meeting outfit?
Yes, this is it.
Wow!
Great.
Is there a cape under there?
Yet what she discovers isn't so much that she's doing it to spite Perry, but simply because she loves doing it, and she's damn good at it too. Just when it seems Renata has the mayor wrapped around her finger, Celeste slams the door on censorship, earning a victory for artistic expression.
Opinions aside, legally, you've already lost. The California Constitution goes way further than the federal one to protect the First Amendment. But to answer your question, Renata, who are we? I don't think we want to become synonymous with suppression and prior restraint.
And we gotta say, It is good seeing her doing what she does best.
For 6 years, I've been wiping runny noses, organizing play dates, doing everything to be a good mom, you know? And today I felt alive. I felt good.
Number 6. Bonnie resents Elizabeth.
I have to confess something that I'm not so proud of. And as I was writing, I realized I needed to confess to you first.
One thing season 2 did well was shine a brighter spotlight on some of the more supporting players of the show, not the least of which is Zoe Kravitz's Bonnie, who rounds out the Monterey Five beautifully. More than any of her friends, Bonnie struggles greatly with keeping the nature behind Perry's death a secret due to the fact that she was the one to deliver that fateful shove.
I resent you for the childhood I had. I resent you for your impatience, for being scared of doing my homework without being yelled at.
Yet it's only with the arrival of her mother Elizabeth to Monterey do we discover her trauma stemmed from child abuse at her hands.
For slapping me, for all the bruises. I resent you for not feeling safe at home.
It's in this scene, as Elizabeth is in a coma, does Bonnie finally confess her guilt and how much she resents her for it. In short, it is one powerful scene.
I killed Celeste's husband and he didn't slip. I pushed him. I snapped, and when I lunged at him, I was pushing you.
Number 5. Jane meets Madeline and Celeste.
You okay?
Yes, I think I rolled my ankle.
When it was announced that HBO would be producing a show with the combined talents of Reese Witherspoon, Nicole Kidman, and Shailene Woodley, anticipation swelled.
I'm Jane. Jane, no middle name Chapman. Jane, no middle name Chapman.
I like you already. You're an intrinsically nice person, and I have a nose for these sorts of things.
And no time was wasted uniting the series' Holy Trinity on screen, as Madeline's chance encounter with Jane sets the entire plot in motion.
You're wearing the dress I bought you.
I know. My new dress, my new shoes, my new friend, Jane Chapman.
Hi.
Celeste.
It's staggering to think that such an innocuous act as rolling an ankle could lead to so much strife. But when these three leading ladies are united at their favorite seaside cafe for the first time, it's difficult not to think fate had a hand to play in the whole ordeal.
You know, I work at the theater, and whenever we go into production, we hire freelance accountants. So I'll ask them if they have anything for you.
You're so nice. Thank you. This is Monterey. We pound people with knives.
To death.
Number 4. Jane visits Saxon Baker. One of the biggest mysteries of the show is the identity of Ziggy's father, seeing as he was the product of rape years earlier.
Yeah, I think it's him.
With the little information Jane has on him, Madeline is able to track down a likely match in one Saxon Baker, an architect living in San Luis Obispo.
Where did you say he lived?
San Luis Obispo. You're not thinking about going down there.
After making the drive down there, Jane meets with Saxon under the pretense of a consultation.
Ms. Wright.
As Jane attempts to identify him, we have no idea as to her intentions, and knowing she'd been previously practicing gunsmanship only puts us more on edge. We don't find out until the following episode what happened or that Saxon wasn't the culprit, and until then, our blood was pumping with anticipation. Number 3. Celeste on the stand.
My relationship with my husband was very complicated.
Season 2 has been a struggle for every one of our leading ladies, but perhaps none more so than Celeste Wright, who may lose custody of her 2 sons at the hands of her former mother-in-law.
Sometimes I have trouble sleeping, and so I take Ambien.
In the penultimate episode of the season, Celeste's character is put into excruciating light by the opposing attorney, who cites her emotional trauma, erratic sex life, drug dependency, and even the suspicious nature of her husband's death as evidence that she's unfit to mother.
How did he fall?
He lost his balance and he slipped.
He lost his balance immediately after you found out he'd been unfaithful with another woman who bore his child.
Your Honor, this is not relevant.
It gets bad fast, and it's made all the more difficult to watch thanks to Nicole Kidman's terrifically vulnerable performance. But the court drama doesn't stop there, as Celeste is able to rally by doing the same to Mary Louise the next episode.
Did you ever lose your temper while you were driving an automobile and cause the car to crash? Would you like me to repeat the question?
No, I heard the question. It was obscene.
Number 2. The Monterey Five enter the police station. There's a lot of lies going around to make up the series title, but none bigger than that of the death of Perry Wright.
We have to stick together. That's the only way we've gotten this far. If we stick together, we'll be fine.
When Bonnie gave him what turned out to be a fatal push down a flight of stairs to stop his rampage, the subsequently dubbed Monterey Five agreed to a pact where they insist that the incident was accidental. However, the lie gradually starts to eat away at them, Bonnie especially. When Bonnie finally summons the courage to turn herself in, the other 4 are there to back her up. Even if we never get another episode of this groundbreaking show, we can at least be satisfied that the Monterey Five went out of the lie the way they went in, together. There's honestly no weak link in the cast of this show. Everyone deserves all the awards. There's one event that will go down for me as one of the most shocking scenes on TV. Can you guess? Get gripped by these honorable mentions before we show you the definitive Big Little Lies moment.
How many other women did he go to? If there's one, there are others.
No, come on, go! Your favorite.
This boy?
No. Him.
This boy?
Yes, he tried to choke me.
She's not well. Clearly, you can see that.
No, what I see is a woman who's struggling. Who isn't?
I'm not in love with you. I know this isn't the best time to tell you, but I don't think I've ever been.
Number 1. Perry's death. From the opening scenes of the series, we knew someone was gonna die.
Celeste, can I talk to you?
No,
We'll go back to the car.
I'm not coming back with you.
We even knew when and where it was going to happen, so going into the season finale, we were just waiting for it to happen. What caught us off guard, however, was the revelation that preceded it, that Perry of all people, was Jane's rapist. With just one look, it suddenly made so much sense. Yet, like the characters, we were hardly given enough time to process before things became physical, and that death we were promised was delivered to us on a silver platter. Credit to the writers for being able to give us some of the pieces beforehand and still make our collective jaws hit the floor. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.